Hello, I'm Jeff Brown. The state of Texas has always been known for its vast wealth. And thanks to the abundance of its land, whether it's endless fields to raise cattle and horses, gold rushes to rival any in history, or, of course, Texas's seemingly endless supply of oil and gas. The land has kept Texas prosperous for nearly 200 years. Texas is so rich, in fact, it created a program to make cash payments to its citizens. That's right. Thousands of Texans collect regular payments every year from a fund set up by the state. It is paid out consistently for over 124 years, all thanks to the Lone Star State's oil riches. Now, it's not uncommon to see energy wealth subsidize citizens. Saudi Arabia divvies out over $200 billion of oil revenue a year through social welfare programs and more. Qatar's government gives its citizens free electricity, water, and health care with heavily subsidized food, all paid for from oil revenue. But what makes Texas different is that individual citizens can collect direct payments. Take Amber Larimer of Selma, Texas. She's collected payments because of Texas's oil wealth since August 2019, some as high as $960 a month. Kyle Daywalt has been collecting these payments for over 16 years. Already this year, he's collected monthly payments of $22,839 and $19,507. At one point, he was getting over $70,000 a month from Texas's oil wealth. Ann Hunt signed up way back in 1993. Her payments started off small, around $200 a month, and then Texas's shale industry took off. For the last 8 years, Ann has collected over $10,000 a month. And then there's James Zeiss. His monthly payments started reaching six figures back in 2012. Now he collects nearly $1 million every month. This is the power of Texas's wealth. And it's all thanks to the vast abundance of oil underneath the state. As famous financial advisor Robert Kiyosaki said, everything is bigger in Texas. Absolutely. And one of the leading blogs on the subject called these oil payments a game changer and a reliable stream of income. Now, here's the problem. Unless you live in or own land in Texas, you are not eligible to collect these oil revenues. But here's what very few people know. There is a backdoor way you could collect a check 4 times a year thanks to the exploding oil and gas industry in Texas. Now, you don't have to be a Texas resident. Heck, it doesn't matter if you've never been to Texas. You can collect fat payments from what we call the Texas Royalty Plan. And already a few savvy Americans are taking advantage. Like Brian Williams, whose last Texas royalty payment was $46,147, and he gets them 4 times a year. Tim Miles signed up for the Texas Royalty Plan back in November of 2023, and he immediately got a $32,529 payment. Jack Pardue's first payment came in February of this year for over $60,000. And get this, Tony Salvucci grabbed a 6-figure payment in May, just over $120,000. These folks are collecting consistent, bankable income year after year thanks to Texas oil supply. In fact, this Texas Royalty Plan has raised payments every year since 2020. Now, where else can you find consistency like that in such a topsy-turvy market? But again, it's no surprise given the number of valuable resources flowing under the state of Texas. Texas is number 1 in America when it comes to oil and natural gas production. And it's not even close. With the advent of shale, Texas is now pumping nearly 2 billion more barrels of oil annually than it did 17 years ago, a 577,990% increase. Incredible. It's this largesse that's giving people a chance to cash in. One special Texas royalty plan has increased payments for 28 years. And the best part, regular folks can benefit, like Rachel Fowler, who collected a $6,113 payment in April. At the same time, Dick Burton picked up $156,638, and Rob Fenton collected $1,246,250 in one payment. And he gets them repeatedly. Now, this is how you stack and build wealth, with solid, consistent income that grows every year. Now, you too can collect payments straight from Texas's vast bounty in oil and gas. And you don't have to own property in Texas. You never even have to set foot in the state. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about investing in a boring dividend stock. What I'm talking about is a little-known way to invest directly in the companies critical to the Texas oil supply and get your share of about 90% of the company's revenues. That's right. This special set of critical oil and gas infrastructure stocks are legally obligated to pay 90% of their earnings to shareholders, which leads to incredible yields like 6.8%, 7.2%, 8.1%, 9.6%. Think about it. The average dividend stock yields 1.25%, virtually nothing. The national average for savings accounts is just 0.42%. That's less than a penny on the dollar. But the Texas Royalty Plan, it pays 22 times better. So for Americans looking for stable, consistent income, the Texas Royalty Plan just makes sense. But now, here's what's really exciting. Thanks to a few big changes in the law, these Texas royalty payments could be on the verge of growing significantly. You see, as wealthy as it is, Texas has never seen a boom like the one that has just begun. Last year, energy companies that participate in the Texas Royalty Plan shipped more oil and gas than ever before, and the revenue for both the companies and the citizens of Texas was also a record. But that's just the start. Estimates are through the roof for the next few years of Texas royalty payments. Now, thanks to a massive web of pipelines and refineries, Texas is about to see the mother of all bull markets. And like a lot of profitable things, it starts with a big move from Elon Musk. Silicon Valley was a California institution, the heart of all advanced technology, and Elon Musk was the poster boy. He took one of his earliest ventures, PayPal, public from a San Jose address. He's built Tesla's headquarters in Palo Alto, and he even housed SpaceX there at its start. When he bought Twitter and turned it into X, the company was headquartered in downtown San Francisco. But Musk soured on California during COVID. He grew tired of the strangling regulations and the exorbitantly high taxes. So, guess what? He moved. He left Silicon Valley behind and headed for Texas, taking over $1.4 trillion in value with him in the form of Tesla, SpaceX, and X. And on top of that, Elon started a trend. Now, what was once a trickle of companies moving from Silicon Valley to Texas has turned into a flood. Over 170 companies have moved operations to Texas in the last 5 years. More than half of them come from California. Apple has long been a Silicon Valley stalwart, and even they moved. Its second largest campus, it's now in Austin. Amazon picked Houston as a prime operations hub. NVIDIA is building 2 factories in Dallas and Houston. Meta and Samsung are expanding into Texas. The Lone Star State really is the new Silicon Valley. And it's no surprise these folks are fleeing California for Texas. Now, first of all, there is no corporate state income tax in Texas. A far cry from California, which sticks its hands in the pockets of businesses more than any other. Less regulations and more favorable policies make life easier for companies in Texas. And that's probably why many of the nation's CEOs have ranked Texas the best state for business, get this, 21 years in a row. And guess who's at the bottom? Well, it goes beyond the business climate. The cost of living in Austin is 37% less than San Francisco. So it's easier to draw employees there too. But while the Silicon Valley exodus is great for the Lone Star State, how does it help you make more money through the Texas royalty plan? Well, you see, Texas just changed the law, and it's going to draw a whole new type of business to the state. The Texas legislature just passed a law, one aimed at boosting the state's digital infrastructure and grid reliability to accommodate the rapidly growing demand from data centers. You see, Texas could soon become the AI data center capital of the world. Elon Musk just established his own town in Texas, calling it Starbase. And that's not all. He recently confirmed a major supercomputer expansion at Gigafactory, Texas. That's Tesla's massive global headquarters. The Musk is investing more than $770 million in that project. Another town has sprung up, comprised almost completely of gigantic data centers. Fittingly, it's called Data City. Eventually, there will be enough data centers to take up 38,000 football fields. Now, just to put that in perspective, that's enough fields to simultaneously play every game in NFL history and still have more than half of the fields empty. Big Tech, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft all have data centers here as well, and they're spending a record $320 billion on AI this year. And then there's Stargate, of course. This is a monumental $500 billion endeavor. Microsoft, NVIDIA, OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank are all involved. President Trump made a landmark announcement at the White House. SoftBank's Masayoshi Son, OpenAI's Sam Altman, and Oracle's Larry Ellison all stood behind him. Stargate will ultimately have 20 data centers occupying 10 million square feet. The first site is under construction right now in Abilene, Texas, nearly 200 miles west of Dallas, and it's projected to be the same size as Central Park. Trump called it the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history. I actually call it for what it is, the largest infrastructure project in history, hands down. Now look, there are already 350 data centers residing in Texas, and that includes 169 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area alone, with 49 in the Houston region, a total of 45 in and around San Antonio, and another 35 in Austin. I'm telling you, much more, many more are on the way, and there's one reason behind it: the abundance of cheap, available energy in Texas. Natural gas rates are $14.28 per thousand cubic feet in California. That is 161% more than the national average. Meanwhile, in Texas, it's just $3.71. That's just a quarter of what it costs in California. And it is easy to get the oil and gas shipped. Get this, Texas has close to 500,000 miles of pipelines, which is enough to circumnavigate the globe nearly 20 times. These complex data centers are energy hogs gulping up enormous amounts of power. In fact, one giant data center alone uses more power than cities the size of Denver or Boston. That's why these power-hungry buildings are struggling to find an energy source in places like Memphis, Tennessee, or rural Indiana. Now, that isn't a problem in Texas. You can build the data centers where the energy is, and with enough pipelines and refineries, you don't have to wait years to get hooked up. Natural gas is the cheapest and most efficient way to provide energy to AI data centers. And, you guessed it, Texas leads the way, setting a record by producing 12.62 trillion cubic feet in 2024. And with the soaring energy needs of data centers, Texas is about to produce even more than they already do. That's why there's never been a better time to enroll in the Texas Royalty Plan, to collect stable, consistent income, thanks to Texas's energy wealth. You see, what we call the Texas Royalty Plan is a special type of stock. It's available from your broker or online, but it's not like a regular stock. The average stock on the market pays a 1.25% dividend, which is not much at all. But the stocks behind the Texas royalty plan pay nearly 6 times more than that. In fact, they have to. It's the law. That's right. These companies are what's called master limited partnerships, and they exist in a tax-free zone when it comes to the government, but on one condition: they must pay almost all of their earnings back to shareholders every year. Now, this pass-through structure is what provides master limited partnerships their tax advantages. So for the investor, that means fat dividends and massive payments, over 8% a year. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Texas Royalty Plan and how to invest in MLPs for consistent, supercharged yields, I put together a report for you, and inside, I'll outline everything you need to know to invest in MLPs. And I'll recommend what I think is the very best one to take advantage of the explosive growth in Texas's energy industry. I expect you could collect 7 to 9% a year for the next 2 decades and beyond. That is how big an opportunity like this is. And I'll explain it all in my complimentary report, The Texas Royalty Plan, How to Collect Steady Income from the Lone Star State. And inside, you'll learn exactly how Texas royalties work, simple instructions to help you sign up for the Texas Royalty Plan, the name of the specific MLP I think is your best way to collect Texas royalties. But let me be clear, this is just one way you can get paid from Texas becoming the center of all technology. The AI boom is real, and the demand for Texas's energy resources is going through the roof. I already mentioned AI data centers use as much energy as a city the size of Denver or Boston. Elon Musk has even confessed that energy solutions for AI are his number one worry. He thinks we could run out of energy for AI data centers within the next year. Now, without power, big tech can't run them. Our grid is barely strong enough to provide power to American citizens, let alone all of these data centers. New nuclear power plants are still far away, and that's why tech CEOs are going back to an old school source: natural gas. It is cheap, we have an abundance of it, and it can get hooked up far quicker than anything else. For instance, rather than wait on the grid or some future source of energy, Elon Musk quickly built natural gas turbines on the campus of his Colossus data center outside of Memphis. I've been there to confirm for myself. I have seen them with my own eyes. Goldman Sachs says natural gas is going to supply 60% of the energy needs created by AI data centers. Wells Fargo believes natural gas demand could increase by 10 billion cubic feet per day by 2030. That's why people are getting more bullish on gas, said Wells Fargo's Roger Reed. Those are some pretty high growth rates for a commodity. Robert Blue, the CEO of natural gas producer Dominion, said economic growth, electrification, accelerating data center expansion are driving the most significant demand growth in our company's history, and they show no signs of abating. Now, spending on AI data centers has exploded, and it's coming from the most valuable companies in the world. Amazon has pledged nearly $100 billion this year alone, the largest CapEx increase in its history. Microsoft said spending could top $80 billion in 2025, also a record year-over-year increase. Alphabet announced spending plans for $75 billion, and Meta as much as $72 billion. Now, most of that money will go into AI data centers, and all of them are looking for a reliable energy source, and that is why Texas is so popular. Now, of course, one way to solve the problem is to build your data center in Texas. There's 350 up and running already, but the Lone Star State's abundance in energy is so vast, it's going to play a large role in supplying the AI data center market, both in and outside of Texas. There are thousands of data centers nationwide, and the majority of them are turning to natural gas for their booming energy needs. And the timing, it couldn't be better because Texas is producing natural gas at record rates, with nearly 500,000 miles of pipeline and proposals for more than 100 new plants in the state recently announced. I believe a new set of natural gas players will cash in on the AI energy boom. And I found two companies that I think will benefit the most. But I'd recommend acting quickly while the market is still favorable. Natural gas stock number one is a play on both the short-term and long-term future of the AI energy boom. This company has a deep portfolio of natural gas infrastructure projects and is well positioned to benefit in the near term. But they're also invested in some key AI nuclear projects, so they'll continue to profit even if there is a future transition to nuclear. It's the best of both worlds. Natural gas stock number two is a leading producer of natural gas turbines. They can build them in a matter of months, and they're going to be key to providing immediate energy to data centers across the country. In fact, they just partnered with Chevron to build natural gas power plants specifically for data centers. Now, if you want to play the AI energy boom, these are the two best stocks to buy, in my opinion, and I'll share more information, including the ticker symbol and buy price for these two natural gas stocks in my special report, Two Natural Gas Stocks for the AI Energy Boom. And it's yours today, along with your other special report on the Texas Royalty Plan. Now, as soon as I'm done, we'll get all the details we need to send you a copy of these two reports. You could enroll in the Texas Royalty Plan before the end of the day, but there's a few other stocks I think could really soar in this AI data center boom, and I'll tell you about them in a moment. But first, let me introduce myself a little bit further. My name is Jeff Brown, and as an angel investor, I put my own money into hundreds of successful projects, ranging from biotech to AI, drones, aerospace, and blockchain technology. Just look at a list of the returns from an initial $5,000 investment, including 5,300%, 7,300%, and an even mind-blowing 19,529%. Now, I earned my success as a senior tech executive for three major public companies: NXP Semiconductors, Qualcomm, and Juniper Networks. In fact, I once headed a team that oversaw 30 of the top wireless markets in the world. I see and hear about breakthrough technologies the general public has never heard of, and I know exactly when these new disruptive products are poised to reach the mass market. Now, that helps me spot stock market winners ahead of time. Like way back in February of 2016, at a private event, I pounded the table on NVIDIA's stock, saying it would be the number one tech stock of that year and the most important company to invest in for artificial intelligence. And guess what? It was. And the stock is up 21,541% since my recommendation. NVIDIA is now considered the leader in AI, but I recommended it to investors 6 years before anyone knew what ChatGPT was. $15,000 invested then would be worth more than $3 million now. I called the number one stock of 2018 and 2019 as well, saying AMD would be equally critical in the coming AI revolution. The stock is up 920% since my recommendation. And the same thing happened when I called the rise of electric cars and recommended Tesla for a 949% return. Or when I pounded the table on digital currencies, touting Bitcoin at just $240 in 2015. It's up 45,856% since then. I called Twilio before it went up as much as 1,716%, and Okta went as high as 920% after my recommendation. In fact, the year I recommended Twilio and Okta, those two stocks ended up being the top two small cap performers on the Russell 1000 index. Now, the odds of doing all that are 1 in 500 million. When it comes to AI, beyond NVIDIA, I also gave my readers a chance to make 679% on Palo Alto Networks and a 582% return on ASML, one of NVIDIA's chip-making partners. I also picked Lam Research, an AI chip stock that went up 517%. Now, I see the next phase of AI right around the corner, and it's AI data centers. And while I think energy is perhaps the best way to play this boom, there are a few key technology stocks that will thrive thanks to all this data center spending. Now, obviously, NVIDIA is one of the most recognizable stocks in the world. Without NVIDIA's chips, basically, there would be no AI. Its chips are on back order for an entire year. They're in such incredible demand. And they're going to serve as the workhorses for many of these AI data centers. So I don't think its place at the top of the AI throne is going to come under threat anytime soon. In fact, NVIDIA just became the world's first $4 trillion company. But there's something a lot of people don't realize about NVIDIA. They can't build all these chips on their own. NVIDIA employs a small network of companies to help it maintain dominance in the chip industry. They're what I call NVIDIA's silent partners. And it's these lesser-known companies that could exponentially outperform NVIDIA's stock. Now, this is a great way to make money in technology. Invest in the companies behind the scenes, like ASML. That's the Dutch company who builds the machine used to make NVIDIA's chips. Its shares went up 609% at the peak. Or Applied Materials. They produce semiconductor manufacturing equipment for NVIDIA. That stock jumped 471%. Supermicro Computers has been working with NVIDIA to make AI servers since they were a tiny video game supplier. But as NVIDIA's stock has risen, so has Supermicro Computer. It's up an astounding 499% in less than 3 years. Now, NVIDIA rose to fame in much the same way. Its first big break was supplying Microsoft's Xbox with chips. And while the tech giant stock went up a healthy 759% between 2000 and 2024, NVIDIA stock did 74 times better, going up 56,568% over the same period. Now, I found two companies who are absolutely critical to NVIDIA's operations. And I believe these stocks, like NVIDIA, are worth owning for the next 2 decades, possibly beyond. And that's how big their impact is on the future of AI. Now, of course, I can't promise gains that high, but in fact, I think they'll have outsized gains compared to NVIDIA. After all, for NVIDIA to repeat its performance of the last 2.5 years, it would become a $30 trillion company. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the stock. I love the company. But that may be a bridge too far. Instead, you can buy NVIDIA's partner companies and potentially make far more. Now, these two stocks are going to play a major role in the AI data center build-out, and I'm going to share all that information with you in a special briefing I put together. This is the same kind of executive-level industry insider information that I would share and discuss with former executives at Qualcomm or NXP Semiconductors, or at a presentation at an industry conference, or with any of the hundreds of tech startups that I'm invested in. It's called the backbone of data centers, NVIDIA and 2 other stocks set to dominate AI. And I'm going to give everyone watching this video a chance to claim a copy in just a moment. But there's one more critical component of AI data centers that could be a real cash cow for investors. With AI driving ravenous demand for more power and data centers getting bigger every year, soaring energy needs are becoming the norm. Companies that can provide solutions here could benefit greatly. In fact, one company is already carving out a lucrative niche in this space. It's not a chip maker, and it doesn't build models to train AI, but this company has found a way to reduce the power used inside of data centers. In fact, its technology is ideally suited to help solve AI's energy problem. Very few Americans would know its name, but it has a chance to be amongst the biggest winners in the AI boom. The company was virtually unknown before ChatGPT was released, but thanks to an award from the Department of Energy, it landed a coveted partnership with NVIDIA. And as a member of NVIDIA's partner network, it now has exclusive access. NVIDIA's technology could have a major impact on its own innovations. And you can bet NVIDIA calls them every time its chips are installed in a new data center, because this company's one-of-a-kind solution allows data centers to run at 20% better efficiency. Right now, this under-the-radar stock has seen its revenue nearly double in the last 3 years and reported $2 billion in revenue in the fourth quarter of 2024 alone. Now, I'll outline all the facts you need to know about this company in my special report. It's called the AI Energy Saviors: How to Profit on the Solution to AI's Number One Problem. In this briefing, I'll tell you more about this company, what it does, and how it helps drastically reduce the energy needed for AI data centers, and why this stock will be critical in the biggest AI data centers being built right now. Look, we are only at the beginning of this AI boom, and the energy solutions are going to play a crucial role throughout. And that's why I'll add a bonus stock to this report as well. Like I mentioned earlier, natural gas is the immediate solution. It's tried and true. It's already set up and ready to deliver, but natural gas is just the short-term bridge, albeit one that could deliver a lot of profits. In the long term, though, AI data centers will run on some combination of natural gas and nuclear power. You've likely heard about the infamous 3 Mile Island. It's being reconstructed from the ground up, and soon it will produce energy for AI data centers. In fact, Microsoft is helping to finance the project. That alone shows us that big tech's thirst for more energy. But lost in the headlines around 3 Mile Island was a smaller nuclear deal that went largely unnoticed. It's a plant that has only been closed down for 5 years, so it doesn't require as many updates. In fact, they expect operations to begin in late 2027, which is ahead of most of the big nuclear projects elsewhere in America. All they're waiting for is a major deal with big tech, and the value of this investment could 10x. The sharks are circling, and it's really just a matter of when before one of them jumps at this gigantic source of energy. On top of that, this company has other nuclear facilities in its portfolio, all of which will only get more valuable as the AI data center-driven energy boom continues. Now, you'll get the name and ticker symbol of this stock, as well as NVIDIA's energy partner, in my special report, the AI Energy Saviors: How to Profit on the Solution to AI's Number One Problem. I'll rush a copy of this report, plus 3 others. The Texas Royalty Plan: How to Collect Steady Income from the Lone Star State. 2 natural gas stocks for the AI energy boom. The backbone of data centers, NVIDIA, and 2 other stocks set to dominate AI. 7 stocks in all, and they can all be yours as soon as this video ends. So, how can you get your hands on my valuable research? Well, it's simple, by becoming a member of the Near Future Report. On top of the 7 stocks in my 4 complimentary reports, you'll get a new recommendation every month in the Near Future Report, with a new way for you to profit from the exploding technology market. Now, you won't hear about these stocks ahead of time on TV or from a regular stock picker, and to be blunt, most of the technology advice out there is pretty bad. When I read it, I can tell instantly that they don't understand what they're writing about. It's akin to throwing darts at the easiest target. Now, my work has been followed by financial professionals at BlackRock, at JP Morgan, SoftBank, Morgan Stanley, Edward Jones, and so many more. And nearly 1 million people follow my technology updates daily in my free essay, The Bleeding Edge. But that's just a small preview. Near Future Report members get a whole lot more. I'll take you behind the scenes and on location to some of the biggest tech breakthroughs in history, right before they're on the tip of every American's tongue. I'll put you in the position to profit from the next big thing year after year. And remember, I called Bitcoin in 2015 at $240. It skyrocketed 45,856% since then. ASML rose 582% after I recommended it. AMD and Okta each went up 920%. Tesla up 949%. Palo Alto up 679%. Lam Research up 517%. And Twilio up 1,716%, all since I first recommended them. And I first called NVIDIA in 2016 at just 66 cents split adjusted. It soared 21,541%. $15,000 when I first pounded the table on the chip maker would be worth more than $3 million today. Now, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to offer every single person watching this video a trial subscription to the Near Future Report. And I'll give you 30 days to give it a test drive at no risk at all. So when you accept my offer today, I'll send you all 4 of my special reports. You'll get the names of 7 little-known stocks that you can use to power your portfolio, all thanks to the AI boom. You can have them on your desk just moments after I'm through. These briefings are full of high-level tech information from someone, me, who worked inside the industry for decades. And you can use it to profit yourself. These reports are yours today when you join the Near Future Report. But that's not all you'll get. There's one more thing I'd like to send you. It's a report about a cutting-edge new technology that could lead to a $25 trillion opportunity. And Elon Musk, who else is at the forefront? Looking for a tech story beyond AI? I believe a new technology will break out this year, and it could become a $25 trillion market. And I expect Elon Musk to dominate here as well. Now, I'm talking about robotics. Robots were everywhere at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas earlier this year. From robots that could fold your laundry to robots who will cool your hot drink. Forbes says this may be the year of the robot. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang made robots the focus of his keynote speech at CES, declaring the ChatGPT moment for general robotics is right around the corner. Amazon has over 1 million robots at work in its facilities already. Boston Dynamics has created the impressive Atlas robots, which can do a number of factory tasks. It can lift and maneuver a wide variety of heavy objects and can even grip onto things like a human. But as usual, I predict Elon Musk will come out as the winner. With PayPal, he was the leader in digital payments. With Tesla, he took the lead in electric cars and autonomous driving technology. His space exploration company, SpaceX, and his satellite internet company, Starlink, are by far the leaders in their fields. No other company, or country for that matter, comes close. His latest version of Grok 4, is now at the top of all the AI leaderboards, catching the entire industry off guard. The Grok 4 is now by far the closest frontier AI model to artificial general intelligence. And now, Musk plans to dominate robotics. Let me ask you this, would you bet against him? Musk already has plans to build 100,000 Optimus robots to be used in his factories, and get this, sold to Americans for use in their home or businesses. He set the price around $25,000. Just imagine a robot in your home powered by AI with thousands of potential uses, and it costs less than a car. 1 billion robots sold worldwide would mean a $25 trillion opportunity for Musk. This is the next frontier in technology and the next consumer electronics product every American will need to have. So how can you invest in Elon's Optimus robot? Well, by buying stock in a publicly traded company that is critical to his operation. Now, without its parts, Musk would struggle to produce Optimus. He needs them. And that means they could be in line for a ton of revenue in the coming years as Musk's Optimus robots take off. Yet, as of this moment, very few investors know their name. And I'll share it with you in my extra bonus report, How to Profit from Elon Musk's Robotics Revolution. It's yours today, along with all 4 of your other bonus reports, just for giving the Near Future Report a risk-free try. Now remember, you'll have 30 days to test it out and make sure this service is right for you. If not, simply call or email us in the first month and we'll give you a full refund. But look, just $15,000 invested in NVIDIA when I first recommended it would be worth over $3 million today. Now, of course, all investments carry risk, and past performance does not guarantee future success. And in these special reports, I'm offering the name of 8 stocks, all with a chance to be the next NVIDIA. Now, let me ask you this. How much is that information worth to you? I'll bet it's a lot more than I'm going to charge you. You see, I made the Near Future Report very affordable to bring high-quality technology investing information to more investors. Now, typically, we only charge $499 a year for the Near Future Report, and I'm sure you'll agree that's a very fair price given my track record and the quality of the information I'll share with you. But today, I'm going to go a little farther. Because of the massive opportunity in AI, I'm going to give you a special discount. Take advantage of today's offer, and I'll charge you just $179 for a full year of the Near Future Report, with full benefits and all the special reports that I promised. That's 64% off the regular price. But please, don't hesitate. You can only access this offer by pressing the button below. Look, Texas is already the nation's leading oil and gas producer, and now it's stormed to the front of the line when it comes to artificial intelligence, challenging Silicon Valley's AI supremacy in the process. Now, Texas has 350 data centers. Many more are on the way, and no state is better prepared for how to power them. With natural gas being produced in record amounts, dozens of new gas plants in the pipeline, and companies busting down the door to enter the Lone Star State, Texas is positioning itself for a long, bullish AI run. And with my report on the Texas Royalty Plan, you'll have what I think is the very best way to capitalize on this exciting opportunity. And with 8 stock recommendations in all, each tied to the boom in AI and technology, you will be well positioned to take advantage of this growing partnership between AI and energy. Now, I've revealed dozens of great tech stocks long before the market knew about them, and I believe I found a few more today. While Texas's AI boom and these energy saviors may be behind the scenes right now, they could suddenly become front page news at any time. So with a Near Future Report, I'll put you front and center for this AI revolution. So click the button below to join the Near Future Report and get the names of the Texas Royalty Plan stock, plus 7 other stocks tied to the future of technology. And remember, we have so much to look forward to.